All right, so today I want to go over our Ikelite case. If you've seen some of our recent videos, I'm sure that you've probably seen the increase in underwater footage, especially in the quality of that. In the past, we have used the GoPro. Recently upgraded to this case from Ikelite, but I probably should mention up front here that we have not been paid by Ikelite to make this video. We have not been asked by Ikelite to make this video. We paid full price for this camera case, so it's definitely something that really the only reason I'm making this video is because I think if there's anybody out there looking for these, I spent a lot of time doing research online to see what type of cases were available out there, especially for the FX3 cinema body. That was really difficult. There's actually really only a few water kind of cases out there at the time when I first started looking for it. I did actually send Ikelite an email 6-7 months ago now, asking if they were ever going to release a case for the FX3. Time they told me they didn't think so, they weren't sure. However, about 3.5 months later, they emailed me and said, hey, we are going to be making a case. If you're interested, you can buy one. So that is what I did. Quite a few features on this, really nice. Basically, all of these are machined to line up exactly with the camera body that you put in there. So if you are interested in buying one of these, or looking at researching these online, definitely go out there and buy one that matches your camera body exactly. Do not buy one that is like, hey, I've got a Canon R5 and there's one for an R6, so I'm gonna buy a body for the Canon R6. Like, it definitely won't work. I think for the Sony, like, it won't line up. All of the holes that they put in the top, there is definitely extra features that they put on these, completely different. For example, back here there's an on-off button, the Sony FX3, and that is significantly different than like all of the other Sony camera bodies. So that's what I'm saying, like, if you are interested in buying one of these, buy one exactly for the camera body that you use. They also do have lens ports online, so you have to buy this camera body case completely separately from the front lens element. All of the kind of like adapters, as you can see, there's kind of really like 3 pieces here, which make this very customizable to your lens. Go to their website and just take a look. They'll tell you what combination of lens ports you need at your lens. For example, this one is for the 16-35 G Master, the Mark 1, so this will not fit for the Mark 2. So that's how specific they are. So if you think that you're going to buy one and then, oh, I'll use the Mark 2 and it'll be the same as Mark 1, it's not. So you have to go on there and kind of look at their lens port. You have 2 options for the front element. One of them is like a larger one, kind of those over water, underwater shots. Since most of our shots are underwater, I went with a more compact dome for travel reasons. It's significantly easier to travel with this. I will give a shout out to their customer service. They actually helped me a significant amount. This is my first time actually ever buying one of these. In the past, I had rented one from a group called Lens Rentals. It was a great job as well, but that's what kind of got me into this. If you go back and watch some of our keys videos from earlier this year, you will see that I rented one of these for the A7S III. I did struggle with it a little bit because it ended up fogging up. My recommendation would be, if you are planning on using one of these, build it on land first and then go ahead and seal it up in air conditioning so that when you take it outside, there won't be a lot of moisture in the air, which will really help, especially if you're shooting in like high humidity conditions like in Florida. I said there's a few accessories on here that are extra. Pretty much all of this stuff is customizable, so you're going to have to buy each one of these pieces. So if you go online and you're like, oh, look, it's a fairly affordable price, just remember that that's only for the body. You'll have to buy each one of these lens ports and front lens elements separately. It only comes with one of these handles. I can't remember if it comes with the left or the right handle, but I ended up buying the right handle. Same thing with the lanyard. This is just a random lanyard that I found with stainless steel, since I found this online, so just on Amazon. I'll link it down below in case anybody is interested. Like, you have to get the vacuum pump separate, especially if you have never owned any of these cases before, like me. A few like little things like this that you will have to buy in order to make sure that it is sealed. They do give you a few like little freebies. So when you buy the front lens element, they do give you a case, a neoprene case here to protect it from scratches. You should note that their front element is actually made out of like optical acrylic, which is not the same as glass. It's not the same hardness, so it can scratch a little bit easier. Most of the front glass elements, those domes are very, very expensive online. This is a significant cost saver. You'd want to get, better quality underwater, but get some of the other brands online. They're very expensive. There is cheaper brands online. I kind of tried to go somewhere in the middle. I don't know if I wanted to trust thousands of dollars of camera equipment to a $500 case. So did not want to pay basically double the price of the camera body for a case. So that's typically why I went with this brand. I've used this brand in the past. You're looking for kind of entry level to this kind of underwater cinematography or even underwater photography. Like Ikelite was a very good like middle of the road, price conscious brand. The other feature I really like about it is the fact, well, there's really two things on the back here that I really liked about it. One is this large clear acrylic back, a 1/2 inch thick of acrylic, which is nice and thick, but the fact that I can see through, so if it does start to leak, know almost right away, which is really good because you can start to see the water in the bottom there. If you do pressurize this, well, it's actually a vacuum. You actually create a vacuum inside of here. Do that, it makes it very hard to get this off, which is good. Not want this being knocked off. They also have some locking silver, I'm assuming they're probably stainless steel latches on the side here that really hold this thing down. So I do like that. There are other cases out there that just have like a clear cutout just for the LCD screen on the back. I'm not a big fan of that because if it does start to leak, it's really kind of hard to tell. Those brands do have kind of like fancier electronics that will kind of beep or flash a light when it starts to leak. But I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I like to be able to see if it's leaking because then I know right away how bad it is. Because if it's just a few drops of water, maybe I can just, kind of slowly make my way to the surface. If it's really flooding, then there's really not much I can do at that point. There's no need to make a risky ascent or anything like that. It's all kind of about safety, and that's what I really like about that. So they kind of offset the camera from the bottom by about a 1/2 inch or so. So if it is just a small amount of water trickling in, it will not, kind of touch the bottom of the camera. So especially like salt water, that's very corrosive. That's another feature that I kind of like about this. Ball mounts are also really nice. These are extra. Like I said, these cases are very, very customizable. So ball mounts do cost a little bit extra, but they're really nice, especially if you want to mount like big strobe lights or like continuous video lights. You can kind of just grab the little adapters for those. These are kind of quick attach, quick detach. So if you are trying to make your kit a little bit smaller, it's easier to pack away. And then this lanyard is really the last feature. I think I mentioned it earlier, but I really like this because when you're handing the camera into the water, just kind of slowly hand the camera into the water, with one hand. If you're kind of like leaning over the side of the boat and help you out with that. The thing is, as soon as I get it into the water, I like how long this is because I can basically take this off and basically attach it to my BC so that if I have to let the camera go because I'm switching air sources or, something's going wrong, I won't lose the camera at that point in time. I can just let it float off. The one thing I should note about this is, at least with my camera setup, it is slightly buoyant by about 1 pound or 2. I'm sure if you have a different camera with heavier lens glass or a heavier camera body, it could potentially make this like neutrally buoyant. There is an adapter for the bottom of this that will help make this weigh a little bit more and be more neutrally buoyant, which I definitely think is ideal for steadier shots. I may end up buying that. Just know that if you kind of have an FX3 with the 16 to 35 G Master, at least the Mark I version, it's positively buoyant by about 1 pound or 2, which means you have to carry 1 pound or 2 in your weight pockets. So it's not that big of a deal, but it is just something that you should be aware of if you are looking at these camera body. A few closing thoughts on this, which I'm really hoping will help people out. We get through quite a few brands. I think there's one called like Nautical Cam, or I think Naughty Cam for short. It's like a full aluminum body. It's like almost $4,000 just for the camera body part alone, not necessarily the lens mounts. So I think if it was something that you were going to use every single day and something that you're going to use nearly constantly, I think it would be worth it to get, something that's, full aluminum. I'd like really good reviews on those, to be honest. People love them, especially people who are doing it professionally. Definitely be worth it. But this basically this entire setup cost just below the total price of well, just the price of the other camera body. So this entire setup was significantly cheaper. I've already mentioned online is I would reach out to their customer service if it's your first time ever buying one of these cases, and just kind of ask them, tell them what you have, what type of lights that you have, what types of camera bodies you have, if there's any special requirements that you're really looking for, kind of build an entire quote for you so that you can kind of get an idea of what it takes to buy. You can browse their website, you can kind of assemble one of these kits on your own, but just know that, you know, basically each one of these things is a kind of a custom setup. There is a few really nice features that are very camera specific. I also have a nice like little extra port here on the left side for bringing out an HDMI cable in case you wanted to use like a full-size Atomos Ninja monitor underwater. I don't think Ikelite sells the case for those, but there are other brands that sell cases, like underwater cases for the Atomos Ninja monitors underwater. So that's why I really like this case, the FX3, so that's why this case worked out really well for us. A few tips and tricks. One of these is definitely assemble this in like an air-conditioned room if you are going out into a high humidity environment. That helps reduce the amount of moisture in there. Second tip is always leave a little bit of vacuum in there. I always try to leave about pounds of vacuum inside in PSI, so 10 pounds per square inch in vacuum inside this case. That makes it so that this little, if I undo the latches on the back, that makes sure that cannot come off. Same thing for these front things. Even if I accidentally forget to screw down one of these lens elements or these lens extensions, I won't just accidentally pop off. To be honest, they're pretty hard to pop off anyways, but I like that little bit of negative pressure in there because that kind of suctions everything together and makes sure that it doesn't accidentally pop off. This one is kind of just buy all the accessories that you need front, because much easier to kind of assemble the kit that you want than it is to kind of try to piece this out. I know that that's really not great advice for saving money, but it made it much better for me, you know, buying that, you know, making sure that I had one of these suction things, because otherwise if I didn't buy one of these vacuum pumps, I just, you know, put everything together and just really hoped that it stayed sealed. I think that would be kind of dangerous, especially for thousands of dollars of equipment for basically like a $25 piece of vacuum suction. Like it's not worth it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know that this is a pretty niche subject. I know that, you know, there's probably not a lot of people out there that are terribly interested in this. I did a lot of research for this and I tried to watch YouTube videos online. There was not that many YouTube videos that kind of covered this. So hopefully this helps people out that are looking for this. I would really appreciate if you subscribe if you've made it this far in the video. I try to do like a lot of travel content. We also try to do technical content kind of like this, where I kind of go over, you know, some of the more niche and specialized gear that we have used. Interested in any of those three steps, go ahead and subscribe. We would love to kind of grow our subscriber base. It would be really nice. Really like this video to help kind of encourage those who are also interested in the same subject. If you like this, then that means it'll be promoted by the algorithm to other people who are interested in content like this. Make sure to thumbs up. Other people who are interested in it, it'll be easier for them to find. So that would be appreciated as well. Right. So that is it for today's video. I will see you all on the next video.